it's a changing landscape. And I'll give you one example, something that most organizations have never heard of, the New York Shield Act. It has been in place for a number of years now. It applies to for-profits and nonprofits. It literally has no threshold. So it applies to all organizations if they're collecting certain types of sensitive or personal data. We can differentiate between the two different types of state regulations. Most of them these days are about giving more rights to donors or to constituents. So you have the right to know what kind of data an organization is collecting about you. You have the right to change that information. You have the right to have them delete the information. And that's what many states have. New York is a little different. New York is focused on trying to minimize the risk of a hack happening, a data breach happening, and then also mitigating the effect of a data breach by requiring organizations to have certain policies and procedures in place. So New York Shield, as opposed to a lot of the other state regulations, require certain provisions with vendors to make sure they're taking certain security requirements to protect the data they collect on your behalf. And then there's some other like data incident response plan to make sure if a breach happens, you know what to do and who to call. It's a little different than a lot of the other states, but it does apply to nonprofits. And honestly, even if the nonprofit wasn't collecting the type of data that New York Shield governs, it's really just best practices. And I always tell my nonprofit clients, you should strive to meet those obligations, because at the end of the day, even if they don't apply to you, they are going to put you in a better position to both minimize the risk of a data breach and mitigate the effects of a data breach happens.
Gotcha. So if you're, let's say, a Colorado-based organization and you're collecting information from citizens in New York, you need to pay attention to the SHIELD Act.
Yeah, all these acts, only applies to not where you're based. It applies to the data you're collecting on the state residence. So again, nothing to do with domicile.